funds is what it's all about. American pie, I need a piece of it. American dream, y'all be asleep for it. I made my own way, dwelling in these latter days. Made up my own rate, just so I could stay.
Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy, Mr. Size 100, aka Tio Javi, aka the Conquista Vato. Back in this with another video, and back with another video in the series that I call How to Get Rich and the Fundamentals. Now that you have your job, there's a couple of things you need to identify. Number one is, how long do you plan to stay there? And number two, what is the purpose of the job? These are things you need to think about once you get the job and are there working the job, so that you know your aim, you know your purpose. If you're a high school student, you know you're not going to be there your whole life. You're probably going to go to college. You're probably going to achieve bigger and better. But let's try to keep our work history looking good. Let's keep our good, fundamental, responsible, disciplined work resume and work life. It'll get you very far. So what you're thinking, like, I'm like 15, I'm in school, I'm not going to work at this restaurant, I'm not going to work at this little job for 5 or 10 years. Doesn't mean you shouldn't take care of the job. Doesn't mean you shouldn't put a great effort into the job. We're also going to discuss consistency in having the job. Things like showing up on time, things like being responsible, and basically choosing your hustle over fun sometimes, That's what it comes down to. It might be a preference, but in building your responsibility, in building your business acumen and things of that sort, you're going to need to actually be responsible and sometimes choose your job over fun. If and when you do plan to have fun, and it's a planned event in the future, always give notice to your management and your boss. Some companies will be like total sticks in the mud and say no, or they'll try to hamper your plans. But if you give them plenty of notice, usually they won't be mad if you go ahead and go have fun. Now, sometimes having spontaneous fun can get you in trouble. Let's say it's the night before you go to work and you're having such a great night with your friends and you're doing whatever young people do these days, and you're just having fun into the night knowing you got to go to work tomorrow. You might want to rethink that, because you'll have friends that'll be like, man, forget that job. You can get another one, and they'll try to talk you into having a great time, and you're all emotional in the situation. And you're like, you know what? I agree with that. I'm young. And I guess maybe that's a preference for some people, but you do got to try to build responsibility, because remember, those funds are what you're going to need to have fun later on. So your friends that are talking about don't go to work, they're probably broke, or maybe they have parents that give them money, whatever. I'm coming from a perspective of, hey, you're a young person, don't have much, trying to come up in life, trying to build a business acumen, trying to build a responsible work history. Sometimes you just got to say no. Sometimes you got to say no to your friends. Sometimes you got to say no to yourself. Now, that's the biggest test of responsibility. That's the biggest test of discipline. And that's going to get you a guaranteed win when it comes to longevity in your job. So let's focus on that. In being young, I did it myself. I called into work sometimes for dumb stuff. Let's be honest. I think we've all done it. We've all played hooky, as they used to say it in the old days, from work and from school and whatnot. If you really want to be consistent in this thing, you're going to have to make a practice of not calling in. So let's identify some of the things that you probably shouldn't call in for, like you're tired. Being in the workforce as long as I have, putting in work for as the couple of decades that I have, that's the biggest thing. That's one of the humps you want to get over. There's never been a time when I stayed up all night and went to work the next day and wasn't able to make it through the job. Sometimes you have fun for the night and you don't have energy for the next day. And sometimes it's okay to stay up a little late and go and have fun. If you have a job that requires your attention and is very detail oriented in that sense, and you can't be tired, you might want to be careful for your own safety. But you might have thought of that the night before when you were having fun or having too much fun, let's say. Hey, you know what? You only live once. You can't let your job be your slave master. But at the end of the day, if you want to have fun, you got to have funds. If you do decide that you do want to call in for dumb stuff, try to spread it out. Maybe once or twice a year. Let's not make it a habit. Let's not make ourselves a bad habit. Let's not get ourselves a bad rep. And later on, you'll build up such a tolerance, such a muscle, such a vigor to be able to go to work that it's like nothing to you. Even if, let's say, you do have a little fun at night, you're so responsible. You're like, you know what? I need funds to have fun. So I'm going to chill. going to have a little extra fun, but I'm going to have energy the next day. And let's talk about that energy. Day in, day out of your job can wear anybody out mentally, can wear you out physically. You'll want to just some days be like, you know what, I'd rather live under a bridge. I've heard that from a lot of people, I mean, burnout is real. But let's be honest, you got to have a mental toughness. You got to have a physical toughness to be able to overcome these things. And that's something that I've dealt with. Anybody has dealt with. It's been in the workforce, a couple of decades. They'll tell you, as some of the older timers, is they kept their jobs for so long, But it's if you were going to be a millionaire and an entrepreneur, let's not just go to college, get a degree, and not have the work ethic that it takes to do the job, to make the big money. I've seen a lot of people make that mistake. They'll go to school and they never mastered how to go to work on time, how to go to work early. They spend all this money or get into this debt, and they never are able to complete what they went to school for, or they finish and they can't accomplish a job because they never built the work ethic. You have to start small with these fundamentals. It's really important. So you might want to look at what you're eating. Okay, let's be honest. We live in a fast food society. It's hard and expensive to eat really well, but it's not impossible. I call it investing in myself. I look into herbs. I look into multivitamins. I juice fruits and vegetables with cranberry juice. There's many ways to look for energy. You don't necessarily want to reach for that Monster or that Red Bull. That stuff will burn you out, and that stuff might possibly kill you if you overdo it. Let's just be real. Caffeine is another that's good and natural, but it can be overdone. Also, you want to drink plenty of water. Plenty of water will keep you alert, awake. The water helps. If you need further details on what kind of products you might need to be able to achieve that energy that you might need if you don't have it anymore. When I was young, I had it all the time. It just came from nowhere. But after so long and so much time and years of working, it seems to go away. Even taking the vitamins and whatnot, and you got to start paying attention. You have to be self-aware, be aware to your body, how it's feeling and what you're doing. Being self-aware is another discipline that you're going to need to survive in this life. And you're going to need that awareness of, my body needs this, my body needs that. I've been doing too much of this. I'm being too lazy. I'm not getting enough exercise. I'm not getting enough sleep. I'm not getting enough water. Sounds like a lot on top of the job, but this is something that you're going to need to do. All these fundamentals will build you to be a bigger, better version of yourself. And it will help you to succeed within yourself, develop a discipline. So when you do become that entrepreneur or you do reach your full potential, you have the energy, you have the mental fortitude, you have the energy in your body to do so. One more thing, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell notification. Don't forget to hit me up. If you find value in this particular video and you need more details, hit me up on my email. I'll give you a one-on-one session, very inexpensive. If you find value in the channel, please support me through my Cash App, Mr. Science 100. I do appreciate those who come and listen. Do share this video with somebody who needs those basics, who doesn't have a fatherly figure or an uncle figure to give them this. It sounds simple to a lot of people who have already made it, but let's be honest. These days, people need to hear this basic information, especially the younger crowd, even some of the older crowd that haven't quite got there or are finding themselves late in life, such as myself. We want to put you in an independent status. We want to get you to a place where you take care of yourself, to where you're being healthy, to where you're planning your wealth, to where you're putting your money in smart places. And later on, maybe even in the next video, we're going to cover money and what to do with it and certain situations that may arise. So if you like the video, please like, please comment, please subscribe, please hit the bell notification. And again, if you need further information and further details, hit me up in my email. It's your boy, Mr. Science 100, a.k.a. Uncle Javi, a.k.a. The Conquistavato. And thank you for sharing your time with me here on YouTube.
Funds is what it's all about. American pie, I need a piece of it. American dream, y'all be asleep for it.